Motherfucking mini episode. Mini episode. Motherfucking mini episode.
What would you do if your son was at home crying all alone on the bedroom floor because he's hungry? There it is. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another phenomenal episode, a mini episode of My Mama Told Me.
The podcast where we dive deep into the pockets of black conspiracy theories.
And we finally work to prove the conspiracy theories that you, the listener, the little mamas and Gentiles alike have at home. This is a motherfucking mini episode.
I would have been swallowed up. Have you ever been swallowed up? Have you gone through a time of swallowing where everything was overwhelming?
You know what's upsetting about that one is
the visuals?
It's so long.
Yeah.
It's so long.
He just keeps saying it.
He won't stop. And it's like, bro, you gotta stop.
But as someone who's been in flow state before, like you see him and you're like, yep, that's how it feel like that. Like when you just can't miss, so you're just going crazy.
He was cooking too hard.
Yeah, I've done it. You probably had sets like that where you're like, oh, I could say anything and it's going to work.
Yeah.
Now I'm going nuts, you know?
No, there are times, and it's the reason I despise the crowd work clips that our art form has sort of devolved into. But there are times when you're like engaging with an audience in such a funny, sincere way that it goes on for like minutes. Like
I've had it where you're like, oh shit, that riff was 15 minutes.
Yeah, it's just a long ass time, and that's not cuttable. Do you know what I mean? Like that's not a thing that you can chop up and make into like a thing you offer up to an audience.
Oh yeah, that's why don't ever trust a 5-second crowd work clip. It's not real.
Yeah,
it wasn't that funny. It was 5 seconds. What are you talking
they
about?
had a big laugh and then it stopped really fast.
Yeah,
they
yeah.
didn't know how to keep going.
Yeah. It was like somebody said one interesting thing. Anyways, we're not here to talk about stand-up comedy. Because that sucks.
It stinks, and the art that I love has become something that I barely recognize. But that's not the point of this podcast. This podcast, especially today, we're talking to you, the listener. We're reading your emails. We're engaging with your thoughts, your suggestions, and we got an email from a person named Aaliyah, Liyah, just like the singer.
It's got G personality, just mentality. Man. Anyways.
I miss her.
I do too, man.
She was great. We all miss her.
Nothing. I wish they had. Anyways. Sometimes I feel like somebody needed to take care of that little girl. Like, you know?
Yeah.
She was bounced around to a lot of men. It feels like dark.
Yeah, no, I think that's 100% true of a person who maybe needed somebody just to look out for her in a way that she never really got by the end of it.
So you want to read an email? Or?
No, let's just have a moment of silence. Now let's just sit in that feeling for a second.
Oh, man. It was 2 seconds too late. I'm sorry.
That's okay. We got an email from a person named Aaliyah who sent us a subject line, Satan's Yoga. Satan's Yoga. She says, hi, David and Langston, longtime listener, back again with another conspiracy. This one actually comes from my grandmother, a Southern black woman who later in life became a Jehovah's Witness. One day, later in life, she started that shit later in life?
It makes more sense than starting it earlier in life. Like, you can't convert to Jehovah's Witness in like your mid-20s.
I don't picture early in life being your mid-20 conversions. I picture early in your life meaning you grew up in the Jehovah's Witness
but she
church.
Converted, she said.
Right, and I'm saying that converting to Jehovah's Witness is a silly thing.
You've already had some birthdays.
Yeah, you know what Christmas feels like.
Yeah,
the fuck are you gear shifting back for?
Taking that away from your children, you monster.
Yeah, no, that's an odd fucking choice. So you want to go door to door. Okay.
Anyways, I'm sure your grandma's a sweet woman, Aaliyah. Or nuts. I don't know.
Hard to say, but I'm leaning towards the latter.
One man's cuckoo is another man's Cocoa Puffs.
One day, after watching a commercial about yoga clothes, she went on a rant about how doing yoga is evil. And if you meditate, you will mess around and open up your mind so much you will let Satan in. I understood her to mean meditating can be a pathway to connect with Satan, similarly how praying is a way to connect with God. I grew up going to church as well as the Kingdom Hall, so I am conflicted. I believe in spirits and have an ancestor altar myself, so just as there is a way to channel the good spirits, there has to be a way to channel the bad ones. I'm interested in hearing what you guys think best, Aaliyah.
Well, Aaliyah, I think you're a witch. And I rebuke thee in the name of the one true Lord. No, I think that. So here's what I don't like about this, right?
Yeah.
The idea of like, if you meditate or you do yoga, you're going to open your mind so much. So that's what that, like, I don't like, it's like, I don't like the idea that an open mind is what leads to the devil. That means God wants you to have a closed mind. That means he's like reductive as fuck and does not want you to open you up to whatever your true potential is. He doesn't want you to be free. And that's not like the God. If that's not like a God I'm trying to serve.
Right. A God that encourages you to sort of live in a bubble is not a God that you recognize.
Well, just like, yeah, any type of like, don't open your mind is a great, like, really think about what you're saying within that. That's like, that's terrible. That's nobody ever leave your small town. Don't ever try to do something that no one in your family did. Like, don't ever push for anything then. You know what I'm saying? Don't open your mind. That's fucking, that's trash. I would argue, I don't think that God is like I don't think the God of Abraham, I don't know if that is what he's pushing.
I will say that I myself read this to mean something slightly different. Although I do agree with your sentiment that if this is about just sort of keeping people closed-minded, then that feels reductive and not at all like a progress or even a love that is suggested to be shared by the God above us, whatever. That said, I thought about my relationship with like spirits, and in a lot of ways, this tracks for me of like, I don't fuck around with Ouija boards. I don't fuck around with like haunted houses, like genuine haunted houses. I'll go to a play one, whatever. But
wait, what do you mean by that? What do you mean by genuine haunted houses?
Like, you know how like some people will be like, oh, this hotel is haunted. We should stay there. I won't.
Oh,
do you know what I mean?
Yeah, you're very serious right now.
Like, no, I will not. And I will I have the resources to choose differently, and I will. Like, I don't need that feeling, and I'm not interested in exploring it just because it's like novel or cute.
Right, but you'll go to like a haunted house,
like a silly one where I know adults are being paid minimum wage to hide around a corner with chainsaws that don't work properly.
Because I went to one of those. Me and my girl went to one of those over at Halloween, and that was fun.
Yeah, no, that's a good time.
Except they tried to play me. They tried to play me a little bit.
What happened?
Man, so we went to the haunted house, and then there was like, if you pay like an extra, they like take you to a secret bar in there and give you a shot during the haunted house.
Oh.
So we went to the secret bar, and this nigga, bro, he was pouring drinks, and he poured my girl one, he poured me one, and he was like, "You look scared as hell." I was like, I'm not scared though.
Yeah. He thought he could cuck you a little bit in front of your lady.
He was trying to cuck me. Yeah.
Oh,
she looks like she's having fun. You look scared as hell. It's a children's playhouse.
I look like I'm not about to tip your ass.
Yeah. I look like I don't work at the fucking haunted house because I can't make child support. That's what I look like. I look like I fucking took a Uber Black here, you broke boy. I didn't. She drove.
I was about to say, why are you taking Uber Blacks to the haunted house?
I've actually never taken an Uber Black. I was trying to impress you guys.
Nah, it worked, I thought. Okay. But no, I try not to mess around with sort of like dark spirits and ghosts and all kinds of things out of fear that I do think it welcomes some of that into your world. That like if you go seeking that shit, you will find something, even if that's something you find is just made up in your own head.
Yeah.
And so in that way, I recognize what she's saying to simply mean like, seek it and you shall find it in both good and bad ways. Now, why the fuck yoga is her passion for where Satan is lurking? I have no idea.
Here's what I'm going to say.
Yep.
This is I've lived among the woo-woos, you know what I mean? I lived in San Francisco, big witch country. Los Angeles, also big witch country. If you're far away and you don't quite know, I understand how these yoga ladies and men could seem like they were into some evil shit. You know what I mean? Just like like glancing and being like, what are they doing over here? They're dressed all wacky. They're burning sage and shit. Like it could feel like some witchcraft for sure.
Yeah, I will say that to that point.
Downward dog, what is that?
That ain't doggy style, I'll tell you that.
Where I come from, dogs stand upright.
They shake your hand like a man.
Look you in the eye.
I will say that to that point, a lot of what yoga is in America is just a sort of like cherry picking of other people's cultural identities and like their actual spirituality. And so in that way, it does feel like sort of a false manipulation of spirituality, right? That like the shit that we recognize as yoga is not what they were doing when Indians invented the shit. You know what I mean? It's just some shit that like some white women took and then like decided to take some words and leave some words behind in certain poses. Yes, certain ones no. And that is not sort of like fucking around with spirituality in a messed up way.
I think it does lead to this whole idea of like, that's why I don't like people when they say they're just, I'm spiritual, because it's like, pick a discipline.
Yep.
You know,
you got to
commit to something. You're loosey-goosey, then you might as well just be agnostic. Like, what does that mean? I think this could be true. And that you need rules. There needs to be some sort of rules.
It is the one part of the Bible more than any other part that I think I most connect with, where it talks about God not wanting you to be lukewarm, that like a lukewarm person is maybe the worst person you could be, that you got to be hot or cold, either believe in something or don't believe in something. But like kind of fucking around in the middle is like dangerous and frankly just condescending to the fundamentals of the actual belief.
Don't stand for anything, you'll fall for something.
Yeah.
Don't stand for something, you'll fall for.
Yeah, you didn't get it right.
Fool me twice. You ain't gonna fool me again.
You can't fool me again.
I'd rather live on my feet than stand on my knees.
I was getting some head. Getting some head.
Knock if you buck.
Yeah, I think you got to believe in something. And so for Aaliyah's grandmother, I think in some ways she's like, well, these people are being lukewarm, spiritual, sort of like cherry pickers. And I don't like that. And that seems like that's of the devil. That is of Satan. And so I reject it all.
Yeah, I think that's reasonable.
Yeah, so I don't agree per se that like Aaliyah, if it makes you feel better, I think you can do as much yoga as you want. I don't think the devil's sitting on a mat being like, yeah, finally got that bitch. Yeah, finally.
I mean, I think that's exactly what I think he's doing. I think
you think he's hanging out in yoga studios?
I think he's just watching ladies bend over.
If that's the case, you're only selling me on the devil.
I think he's got a toothpick.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, somebody's limber.
Yeah, look at that child's pose. That probably should have been the one I picked.
Don't look like no child to me.
Yeah. Look like a woman pose.
I look like grown woman pose to me.
Look like how a woman posed to be.
Maybe that's what the devil is doing, and if that's the case, I think more of us should be worshiping the devil because he sounds like a cool guy, and I'm into him.
Langston's gone full 360.
I've gone full
360. I'm fucking it up.
No, I did a spin move.
Hey, that's pretty cool. Have you ever done a spin on the dance floor?
When I was in high school, I was a dancing ass kid, and so yeah, I used to do shit. And now, as an adult, I couldn't possibly. I can't even imagine attempting it.
Yeah, I can't imagine. That would be crazy. It would be cool.
It would be cool, but I live with the constant fear that it won't work now.
If it doesn't, like, if you try to commit to a spin and it doesn't work, that'd be bad. You're dancing with your wife or something.
It can only ruin my family.
Yeah. Is it that you worry that you would fall down?
I worry about it all. I worry that I would fall down. I worry that I don't even make it the full 360 and now I'm just a dude who tried something and it failed. You know what I mean? Like there's just so much vulnerability when people are counting on you that you.
Is that how you feel about the dance floor?
Yeah, that there's motherfuckers counting on me, man.
I can't. My baby needs this.
Yeah, my baby just needs me to keep being consistent. I can't. And now I could go viral. Imagine your father going viral because he tried to do a spin move and it didn't work.
At the JFL after party.
Come on. And now everybody's like, bro, my daughter's going to school and they're making fun of her because her father failed.
That's fair.
People are counting on me. I can't risk it.
No, listen, I also am conservative on the dance floor. You know what I mean? I'm a Biden in the streets, but I'm a Trump in the sheets.
There was that run where those kids were doing that sideways moonwalk, that like airwalk shit.
Oh, the Usher is the first one I saw do it.
Well, no, not that sideways moonwalk. That one I learned to do when I was in high school. I could still do that shit. Sidewalk moonwalk, walk, walk, walk. Yeah, I'm talking about that shit where they're like skipping sideways.
Oh, that one's fun. Yeah, I like that one.
The amount of times I practiced that alone in my home and realized like I don't think I'm in a position to take this into a public space and be successful.
Really?
Yeah.
Because that one seems easier than the sideways moonwalk.
It is not. It's just so unnatural to the way that I move that I don't think I've ever figured out a way to make it not look like a.
It's like a pacing thing.
Yeah, it's just you look gumpy and fucking weird, or you look awesome. Yeah. And I don't know that I ever looked awesome, so I chose never to bring it out.
Yeah, I tried to learn the smeeze once. The same thing.
Yeah. You just gotta realize like these L's are not worth taking after a while. And when I was 15, if I didn't do a move good, so what, right. You know what I mean? Like, what are the repercussions here?
Wait, can I ask you a serious question?
Yeah.
Have you ever been in a dance battle?
I've been in many a dance battle, yeah.
This might be its own episode.
Okay.
Do you have footage?
I hope not. I hope there's no lingering footage of any dance battles I was in. Thank God, I think we predated camera phones.
What was the group called?
No, I wasn't in like group dance battles. I was like dance battles at like parties and shit.
Oh, excuse me. That would be way lame. Yeah, excuse me.
I wasn't assembling an entourage.
I wasn't in a group. I was rogue.
Yeah, no, I was a fucking Highlander, baby.
Did you have a dance name?
No, I didn't have a fucking dance name. I was just a cool dude
All right.
who at a party, if a circle happened, I would pop in the middle, and then another dude. There was this kid in my high school named Dom Perignon. And I wish I was making this up. And
it's way too specific to be a lie.
Dom Perignon, he would constantly, the circle would happen and he would get in and he'd be popping and shit. And then I would get in and I would pop and me and Dom would go back and forth.
Did you ever crump him?
Damn, I don't think so. I don't think I ever had the flexibility for doing back bends and shit.
Okay, that's fair.
But I ate his heart sometimes.
Oh no!
Yeah, I'd eat his heart. I pop from the bottom and pass it up and go back down and snatch his heart and then put it in my own chest.
Put it in your shit. Bump into his rhythm. Wow, you're a wild guy.
Nah, I lived a life, man.
Yeah, that's very interesting. We'll get more into that.
We'll get more into that.
Do you have pictures?
David, I hope there's no documentation of this period in my life.
Lil Mamas, if you guys could, let's see if, I'm hoping we could find someone who battled you. If you guys know Dom Perignon and he's in the Chicagoland area.
I don't think he left. I don't think he went anywhere.
Please, we got to get him on. I would love to hear an oral history of these battles.
Dom was a great dancer, man. I don't know that I won any of I wouldn't call myself the champion of those battles, but I was honored to be a participant.
But you got in the ring,
I got in the ring.
You got in the ring.
But yeah, I think to the larger question at hand, I fear the evil spirits enough that I am willing to cut myself off from certain activities. And I recognize that if you are a stringent, God-fearing woman, so much so that you're willing to join the Jehovah's Witnesses later in life, then you probably are afraid of a lot of things that seem vaguely spiritual, i.e. yoga and poses and whatnot.
Yeah, beads,
sure. Yeah. White women with sage. That's not a good combination.
Jade.
Come on. Get that jade out of your goddamn vaginas and put it back in the earth where it belongs.
Take that jade out of your pussies.
That's the name of the episode.
Yeah. Well, I think we did it. That was really good.
I think so. I think we covered it all. Did you tell the people where they can find you and what cool shit you have going on?
Cool Guy Jokes 87 on Instagram. All my stuff is going to be there. I'm gearing up to figure out my summer dates and some of my fall dates. Sunday, May 5th, Los Angeles. My birthday, by the way.
But yeah, as always, you can follow me at Langston Kerman on all social media platforms. I be there. I don't be doing nothing, but I be there. And if you want to send us your own conspiracy theories, if you want to send us your drops, that is the whole shebang. Bye, bitch.
Motherfucking mini episode. Motherfucking mini episode. Motherfucking mini episode. Motherfucking mini episode.